Hello, I am Manish Sharma from Department of Electrical Engineering of SLBS Engineering College. Today we will discuss the synchronous machines. Synchronous machines special features. Synchronous machines are doubly excited energy conversion device. Energy conversion device is one which convert electrical energy into a mechanical energy or mechanical energy into electrical energy, called as electromechanical energy conversion devices. The machine, synchronous machine, is a doubly excited machine. Doubly excited means the machine has two parts, armature and rotor. Both the parts are connected from the supply. Armature is connected to the three-phase AC supply, or field winding is supplied from a DC source. So the machine is called as a doubly excited machine. Armature winding either generates AC power or absorb AC power. When the machine generates AC power, then the machine is called as a AC generator, a synchronous generator, or sometimes is called as a alternator. Or the machine when absorb the AC power, that is takes input from an electrical source, then it produces a mechanical power or to supply load with the used as electrical drives. So the machine can be used as a generator or motor. The generation of EMF depends upon the relative motion between the field flux and armature winding. This is the Faraday law. We know that the EMF is generated by the change in a flux linkage with the conductor with respect to time. This is achieved by the rotating field and the flux cutting by the armature. Nevertheless, the synchronous machines are invariably constructed with the high power armature winding on a stator and a low power field winding on a rotor. Later we discuss the advantages of this scheme. But universally, a synchronous machine employed as a generator, it is called as an alternator. This is a largest sized machine which is used as a synchronous machines. In literature, we have seen that the around 1700 megawatt capacity of machines has been constructed. Under steady state, the frequency of the signal generated by a machine is given as F equal to P/ns upon 120, where P be the number of poles, ns be the synchronous speed in RPM, and 120 is the constant. There are several advantages of providing armature winding on a stator. First, more economical. When we provide armature winding on a stator, so the machine would be more economical than providing armature on the rotor, because if we provide armature which is handle the almost all power by the machine, suppose if the machine of a rating 200 MVA or megawatt, then and voltage rating of the machine would be 11 kV. Since the machine is a three phase, then the line current would be 500 ampere. So if we provide armature on a rotor, then we required 3 slip rings of a capacity of handle this amount of current. But if we provide armature on a stator, then the rotor would be a field winding having field winding, and the capacity of a field winding would be 2 to 5% of the power rating of the machine. So if we provide rotor on field winding on a rotor, we required only 2 slip ring, but in the previous case we required 3 slip ring for the 3 line and 1 for the star point. So it would be more economical for providing armature on the rotor stator, more efficient. Armature providing on a stator would be more efficient, because if we provide armature on a stator, then the number of slip ring would be greater than the number of slip ring provided on a by applying the field winding on a rotor. So the losses on brushes of our slip rings would be lesser, so the efficiency would be improved by providing armature on the stator. Better insulations. Stationary part would be insulated satisfactorily by providing on stator. Efficient cooling. Water tube piping can be provided on a stator, because the armature is handle total power of the machine, so the current on a armature would be greater, so the cooling requirement to the armature would be better need. So the cooling would be efficient by providing armature on a stator. More output. If the armature would provided on the rotor, then the heavy structure would be formed to handle the copper and core of the machines. If the low rating field winding and field core will result a lighter weight on a rotor, so the required less amount of power to produce a centrifugal force. So the power output will be more by providing armature on a stator. Lesser rotor weight area, as we said earlier, the field winding has a limited power capacity, so they just only to establishing a magnetic field, so the rotor would be less area if the field winding is provided on a rotor. Rigid and convenient construction. We can provide armature on a stator, so the heavy current carrying conductor could be placed on a stator. That would be convenient to us, and cooling arrangement will be convenient to us. More armature and tooth strength. Armature conductor are more, so we can provide on a stator. So in inner periphery of a stator core, we can to accommodate the copper conductor in armature periphery, inner periphery, so we have to construct the deep structure of slots. So this structure would be mechanically strong, and the tooth being arranged by this structure would be having more strength. Construction of a synchronous machine. Synchronous machine, depending upon the geometry of the rotor, they are of two types: salient pole and cylindrical rotor. These are classified as the geometry of the rotor, but stator of the both the machines would be similar as used in induction machines. Salient pole means the term salient means the projecting out or sticking out or standing out. The pole would be standing out or projected out from its periphery. So this term would be called as a salient, that the pole shoe would be standing out. We can inspect this pole core and pole shoe. and in the cylindrical rotor we can't determine where the pole core or pole shoe, depending upon the structure of the machine. The field winding on a salient pole is a concentrated winding. In a salient pole type machine, the field winding on a salient pole is concentrated winding, whereas in the case of a cylindrical rotor, the field winding is distributed winding housed in the slots. Salient pole machine have non-uniform air gap, but in a cylindrical rotor have uniform air gap. This would be advantages to use a cylindrical rotor, that the air gap is uniform on a periphery of the machine. The slot of the stator of both the type of synchronous machine are similar. I said that the stator of both the type of synchronous machine are similar. The stator core is having the parts stator frame, stator core, laminated stator core, and stator windings. The stator frame and end rings are merely used only for the mechanical support. They are not used to having to establish a magnetic field. So this stator frame is made up of a cast iron. Okay? But the core of the stator is manufactured by the use of silicon steel, and these silicon steel are laminated in several stems, and they are connected each other by stamping or riveted to reduce the eddy current. Polyphase distributed winding in a stator slots. There is advantages of distributing the winding along the air gap periphery in a stator core in a different slots, that the total iron is used, the total used core is utilized by the machine. Let us consider the elementary configuration or elementary scheme of a 4-pole 3-phase salient pole construction. The machine has a stator frame. This is stator core having 12 slots around a periphery. The slots are in inner periphery of the stator core. There are total 12 slots. In actual machines the slots are so much, but here we have shown only 12 slots. The machine has 4 poles. These poles are in a heteropolar structure, that is the alternator N and S are gated by the heteropolar structure. To house the stator winding, the machine is of a 3-phase, so we required 3 coils, each coil for a 1 phase. And the machine is, since the machine is a 3-phase machine, so we required 120-degree phase differential in between them. So there are 120-degree phase difference in between 2 coils from each other in space. Here the 120-degree electrical degree displacement is in between them. That is a electrical degree phase displacement, not the mechanical degree. Electrical degree theta electrical is equal to the p/2 of theta mechanical. Since the number of pole is 4, so p/2 is equal to 2, and the 60 degree would be mechanical multiplied by the 2 will give 120-degree electrical. There are 12 slots, and the machine have the 3 phases, so the 12 by 3 would be give 4, that is 4 slot would be used for the single phase winding, for a single winding. single coil. Okay, the coils A1, there would be a A1 and A1 dash, and A2 and A2 dash. These two coils is used for a phase A. Similarly, B1 and B1 dash, B2 and B2 dash coils for the phase B, and C1 C2 dash, C1 dash, C2 and C2 dash would be for phase C. So there are two coils. These coils are uniformly distributed in the armature winding. Here the field winding is concentrated. You can see that the field winding is concentrated, but the armature winding is distributed. The two coils A1 A1 dash and A2 A2 dash would be connected in series or in parallel. The series connection would increase the voltage rating, that the individual voltage would be added by connected in series, and the parallel connection would be used for increasing the current capacity of the machine. These coils can be connected in a star form or in a delta configuration. The total 6 terminal of the machines is projected out on the terminal box, that depending upon the requirement the connection would be used. Here this diagram shows the salient pole machine construction. When the requirement of the larger diameter shape, so we require there's a number of poles could be accommodated in the periphery of the rotor. So we use dovetailed rotor core, and this dovetail is jointed by a spider shaped shaft. So number of pole structure can be accommodated in this type of shape. In this diagram we have shown the 2-pole cylindrical machine. The total winding is concentrated, having 6 coils in this periphery, and the direction of current induce the poles N and S. So in this diagram we can see that the air gap is uniform in between stator and rotor. The next diagram of a 4-pole machine. The alternating N and S pole structure are accommodated to have heteropolar structure. Steam and gas turbine have best operating characteristics at relatively high speeds. Therefore, alternator must have fewer number of poles, say 2 or 4, so limit the centrifugal force. Cylindrical rotor is best suited for mechanical considerations, as long core length and small diameter, and called turbo alternator or turbo generator. Salient pole structure is more suitable for the multipolar slow speed water turbine generator. That's why the salient pole synchronous generator are called as a hydro generator. Most of the synchronous motors are salient pole type. Most of the synchronous motors are of a salient pole type. A salient pole synchronous machine has a small core length and large diameter, so that the large number of field poles can be accommodated in the rotor periphery. Okay, Now the EMF equation of a synchronous machine. Flux linkage given by psi would be equal to N multiplied by flux passing through the coil at a time t. We assume that the flux phi supplied by the rotor field would be sinusoidal, that is changes as a sinusoidal when rotates along the periphery of the machine. So the flux linkage would be N into phi cos omega RT, that is cos theta equal to omega R into T. So according to the Faraday law, E is equal to minus d psi by dt, and differentiating the above equation would gives these two terms. Since the flux does not varying with the time, that is the flux is a time invariant quantity, so this differentiation would be 0. So the induced EMF having the value E is equal to N omega R phi sin omega RT. This is a instantaneous EMF generated by the machine. Their maximum value would be occur when the sin omega RT when equal to 1, then the E maximum value is equal to omega R N phi. By putting omega R as 2 pi FR will give you E max is equal to 2 pi FR N phi. The RMS value will be achieved by maximum value divided by root 2. Then the EMF equation, the RMS value of induced EMF would be 4.44 FR N into 5, where N be the number of series turns, phi be the total flux per pole, and FR be the speed of the rotor given in hertz, or omega R into omega R. The machine could be used fractional pitch or full pitch coil. The use of a short pitch coil to reduce the copper in overhang, so we can accommodate number of so we can use more number of turns to increase the voltage generated by the short pitch coil, but the total EMF would be decreased by a factor Kp, and the Kp would be given as a cos of epsilon by 2, where epsilon would be a coding angle. The coil of a armature or winding of a armature is uniformly distributed, so there is a reduction in a voltage generated by the distributed winding. So we have to use a factor Kd. Kd would be sin q gamma by 2 upon q sin gamma by 2, where q is the slot per pole per phase and gamma would be the angular slot pitch. So the EMF generated by the machine would be E is equal to root 2 pi kW FR NPH phi. Kw would be equal to Kp into Kd, that is called as a winding factor. Kw, winding factor of the machine, would be equal to Kp into Kd. Kp be the pitch factor and Kd be the distribution factor. The instantaneous values of the each phases would be equal to Ea equal to root 2 E sin omega t. We are considering at the instant where the phase A having the maximum values. So there is a 120 degree phase displacement in the 3 winding of the machine. The EMF EB and EC would be 120 phase difference displaced by each other. So that would be all.